Okay, quarterfinals stage at the World Cup, business end of the World Cup. India doing wonderfully well so far. 4 intriguing contests, 3 legends to talk about them. Can India go past, perhaps face Australia? Can Australia go past an incredibly interesting and inconsistent Pakistan? Can New Zealand go the distance? Can South Africa redeem the choker's tag? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mohammad Azharuddin, Harbhajan Singh and Andrew Symonds. Bhaji, I'll start with you. You were there at the Wankhede winning that trophy. India, 11 days away from lifting that trophy again, plays Bangladesh in the quarterfinals. Prediction, suggestions, what's the way ahead from here on? What do you do at the knockout stage?
Well, we have to take each game like a step, and we don't need to, see whether semi-final and final. We just need to concentrate on the quarterfinals on the 19th, and I'm sure once we get done with that, then we need to look forward, on the semis. But it's been a great 6 games, India have played, and they've been a fantastic team. They have done really well, and I hope they continue to do the great job what they've been doing and continue to win games, and I wish them luck for the 19th game, and from there onwards, I'm sure they'll be up for the challenges, and I'm sure if they'll continue to play like this, they'll go a long way. And I want them to come back with the cup.
Let me ask you a follow-up question before I ask Andrew and Azhar. The one aspect that we were not doing too well in Australia from November onwards was spin. Are you satisfied with the way Indian spinners have bowled, especially Ashwin? Because, he's somebody you've played with. You know the trick of the trade very, very well.
Yeah, I think he bowled really well in last 3-4 games. Whatever I've seen him, he looked a different bowler because he's looking to bowl slower in the air, and he's looking to spin the ball rather than just contain. He's looking to get wickets, and a lot of credit must go to the seamers how they bowled up front, and took 3 to 4 wickets in every game. And obviously, it becomes easier for spinner to come and bowl when you are 3 down or 4 down, but still, as a spinner, you have to bowl well in the middle overs, and I think so far our spinners have done really well, especially Ashwin, and I would like to see him even continuing what he's been doing, in the next few games as well, and hopefully his performances will be handy in the upcoming matches as well for India to win the games.
Azhar, lots of people actually from the audience was also asking this question. How do you analyze Ravi Shastri's role? Does he have a role? I mean, as team director, how much influence can he? Because when I was in Australia, I could see him sort of guiding all the batsmen. They have a bit of a language issue with him, which is sort of gets them at ease. How do you analyze Ravi's role?
I think his job is to guide the players. That's why he's been put in that job, I think. And he's a very shrewd person, and he's played his cricket in a very positive manner. And he didn't have much talent, as he was not a very talented player. But I think whatever little talent he had, he put it to hard work, and then he was very strong. Mentally he was very strong. I think that's the one thing he must have taught all the players. If he was talking to them that stay mentally strong and have to play for India and have to score runs, as simple as that.
So when you are at the knockouts, how much is it about talent or potential, and how much is it in the mind?
Well, I think if you're mentally strong, there are times where even if you're not playing well, once you get mentally strong, then the performance shows on the field, because you have to stay strong all along, even though when you're not doing well, there's a lot of things happen as a batsman or as a bowler. When you're not performing, there's so many negative thoughts come in. But I think we have to negate all those thoughts and then stay positive and focus on the job, like if you don't focus, and then if you really stay away from it and then don't play your natural game, I think as a batsman or as a bowler, whatever naturally comes to you, you should always do that. Because once you are not in good form, we try and do so many different things. That's when we lose it. And as far as the bowling is concerned, I want to take from Harbhajan that Ashwin, he stopped experimenting. That's why he's bowling well. And I think his job is to take wickets. His job is not to really contain the batsman. If he takes wicket, even if he gives 50 runs, no problem. But as long as he keeps taking wicket, I think it augurs well for the Indian team. But I think the Seamers have really done well. They've really pulled us back, from what we were doing in Australia and the test matches and the triangular series. I think they've really learned a lot, but they learned very late. But I think they've learned it very beautifully, so that they will really put those learning courses into this next 3 games, which are very, very important for us.
Andrew, it's been all India, India, India. There's another quarterfinal on the You know, right there on the 20th, Australia plays Pakistan. One of the most unpredictability. I mean, the one predictability about Pakistan is they're unpredictable, right? They're consistently inconsistent. When you play a team like that, how do you go into a match like that?
Yeah, they can distract you for the wrong reasons, Pakistan, because they are so hot and cold. But the best way to play finals is you do need to just worry about what you're doing. And to break it down really basically, it's really sort of simple stuff. You know, I look back and I think, well, if we're fielding first, we want to win the first over. You know, something as simple as that, just to start the ball rolling. You know, you want that aggression in the ring. You want the fielders pushing in, no easy singles. You know, and hopefully take a wicket in the first over and really set the opposition back. But in regards to Pakistan, they are potentially a danger side. You know, if they have a good day, you know, they can go out there and they can score 300 plus. You know, and the way their quicks bowled in some of the earlier games, their left arm quicks, you know, they've got some speed, they've got some skill. So the Australians are going to have to be aware of that. But just really playing in finals, it's about getting the basics right. The team that wins the basics battle usually wins the final.
You know, when we are talking in India, we sort of give a lot of flack to our players if they don't do well. Harbhajan, for example, despite being a world champion, will say, Azhar will say, we've gone after them. But the one thing that I saw in the Australian media this time round was everybody was going for Michael Clarke. I mean, it was as if Michael Clarke was enemy number one of the Australian press. And in the press conference, Clarke says, the media has to sell papers, put their shows on television, etc. I've never seen this in Australia. Do you think at this point in time, Michael Clarke is the best man to lead Australia? And do you think the team atmosphere is good enough? And the team would welcome him in the same way now that they're entering the business end?
Yeah, I think if he's fit, yes. But if he's not, no. They can't keep waiting for him to get fit. You know, if his back's not going to be right, they need to find a replacement. But at the moment, he's okay. The team's playing well, so he came back into the side, scored some runs. That was probably where the doubt may have been with people, whether he's going to be fit enough physically to stand up and be able to score runs and be able to field and bat for, you know, 70 overs, 80 overs. But he did that, and yeah, so he warrants being the captain at the moment and holding his place in the team.
Bhaji, when you play in Australia, I mean, a possible semi-final in Sydney, you were there, you won a series, a one-day series after 22 years. What does it take to beat Australia? I mean, they did not have a very fond liking for you, that's a different story, but what does it take? You were very strong mentally. What does it take to challenge an Australian side in Australia?
I mean, obviously, Australia is probably the number one team. You know, whatever cricket I have played, you know, I've always enjoyed playing against Australia because they always bring the best out of me. Because when you're playing against the champions, you can't really play up to 70%. You have to, if you want to beat them, you have to play, I mean, not 100%, maybe more than that. So basically, that's what we were looking to do, you know, in Australia. Whenever we walked onto the field, we wanted to compete. We want to be the team who gives them the challenge, you know, rather than they are putting us the challenge, giving us the challenge. We wanted to give them the challenge back and see how they react. And that was probably the key for us to beat Australia. And we did really well in 2008 against the best Aussie team I've played against. You know, they have got Gilchrist, Andrew was there, and Michael Clarke, Ricky Ponting, all these top batsmen were playing there. And obviously it's very satisfying to beat a team like Australia, and all it takes is just more determined effort than the normal games. That's all I can say. Just keep things simple and believe what you know, do that, rather than experimenting other things. Just do what you know is right to do at that point of time and back yourself.
In the Australian dressing room, if you are to ask them, do you want to win the Ashes, do you want to win the World Cup? What is of priority?
I don't know. We try and win them all.
You won't win one. Harbhajan won't let you win one.
It's very hard to say. I mean, playing Test cricket, you know, being presented with your baggy green and winning an Ashes is the ultimate as a Test cricketer in Australia. It's probably the best way to describe it. And obviously in one-day cricket, winning the World Cup, well, that means the world to all cricketing nations. So that's the best way I can sort of answer that one.
So this is big. This tournament, winning it in Melbourne for the Australian team will be huge, right?
Absolutely. I'm actually envious of the players. If they get to play a final at the MCG with 95,000 people there, you know, it'll be an amazing atmosphere. You've been to the MCGs, probably many of these children here haven't, and it's an amazing stadium. It just goes up and up and up into the night sky, and it'll be full of people, and the atmosphere will be amazing. So that'll be, it could be one of the all-time games of cricket in World Cup history if it pans out the way that the dreams are made, I suppose.
Azhar, if I can sort of switch gears, one thing that India refuses to take steadfastly is DRS. But if you see the way Indians have used the DRS in this World Cup, they've done it one of the best.
Well, I think they should have been doing for a long time. I think they would have not lost so many games against England and even in Australia also. But I don't know what is happening with the DRS thing.
So
but
you
I
want
think
us to take DRS?
yeah, they have to. One the thing is that technically, if it can be used, and it should be used. And all the other teams are using, and they are getting benefited. But we are not getting benefited out of that. But I think in the World Cup this time, I think we have really benefited. So I think the board should take cognizance of that, and then maybe you should agree to it, and then carry on with the DRS. Because when you have the technology, and why not use it? It's been used everywhere. All the teams are using. So I think it is fair, that we should agree to it, because I think we have said no for a long time. So I think the time has come for a yes now.
You agree?
Well, I think DRS is there to make decisions right, and I'm sure I agree with what Azubai have said. You got to take it while other teams are taking the benefit of it, and why not us? We should take it.
Why is the ICC, from an Australian standpoint, is it not stupid of the Australian board not to force India's hand? Why are they not forcing India's hand to take it in a bilateral series? Are they scared of India or India's financial power?
Yes, they are.
That's a headline. Australia is scared of India's financial power, says Andrew Symonds. Put it out as a headline for tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a fact. But the DRS, what I hope with it is, if they choose not to use it, the teams that don't want to use it can't complain if there's mistakes made. But what I don't want to see, I wouldn't want to see in a World Cup final decided with a bad decision, or a key player is given out with a bad decision because they haven't used it. That doesn't make any sense to me. So they need to sort that out, because all this technology, as I said, is there to be used.
Let me ask a question to all of you about Virat Kohli. Baji, you've also been agitated, aggressive, animated on the field. This whole streak of Virat sort of crossing the line. How do you take that? Do you think he should temper himself a bit as he is future captain of India? Do you think he's going the right way? What is your take on Virat?
Well, my take on Virat is he's a brilliant player. He's a great talent, and of course he's a match winner for sure. And he's someone who will be doing great things for Indian cricket, in future. But as you said, he's still very young. He's 25, 26, and he's learning as he's growing. And I'm sure he will learn from his mistakes, and he won't repeat it again. And I'm sure he have got a lot of responsibilities coming on his way, in near future. And he will change himself, and I'm sure he'll be a good thing for Indian cricket.
Do you think he'll change himself? He's had a long time.
Well, I think he must change. I think because I think he's playing for India. I think, and everybody knows that the media helps you become famous. But after a period of time, when things don't go your way, they break you down a bit by bit as well. So I think he should get used to the attention which he is getting now. I think because once you're at that stage, people are going to talk about you because you're good, because you perform, because you deserve that. But at the same time, when you can't just go overboard and say things which are not very good, But I think as a youngster, he would definitely learn from his experiences, because once you're there at that position, attention is going to be there on him all the time. So he should get used to it. It's very, very important for him to get used to it, and then behave in a manner where, everybody, really loves him.
Can I just,
please add.
Virat is a character who is, full of passion, and I don't think he need to change a lot. All he need to do is just convert his aggression into, little down, and I'm sure if he'll do that, he'll be someone who will be difficult to beat his records.
That
Andrew,
he
yeah.
should restrict his aggression to the field. I would be most happy.
Okay. Andrew, in Australia, I mean, when you say these two gentlemen walk out on the streets today, they'll get mobbed. In Australia, you guys have a life. I mean, how do you react to this? I mean, Sachin Tendulkar, Mohammad Azharuddin, Harbhajan Singh, Virat Kohli walk out on the streets in India, 20,000 people will mob them. You can at least walk along that Yarra Bank in Melbourne, signing a few autographs, but not 20,000 people will mob you. How do you react to this? Do you feel envious of these people on occasions? Do you feel, no, I've got a better life?
Even he got mobbed the other day. I took him out.
Beautiful. So you get mobbed in India as well.
Yeah, no, Indians are just so passionate and knowledgeable about cricket. So there is nowhere for a cricketer to hide. But I don't envy what Sachin goes through every day. You know, he can't walk out of his house and down the road and go and buy a newspaper or take his kids for a walk and buy them an ice cream. It's impossible for him. So being able to do simple day-to-day things, I don't envy that. But the regard that these men are held by the Indian people, that's amazing, and it's a special thing to see. You know how much these men mean to their countrymen.
I will digress now for a minute with the permission of the audience. You just said you took out Andrew. Where did you take him, and what did you talk?
Well, we were talking about Bollywood. And
Wow. I will ask Andrew the next question on Bollywood.
And I took him to my friend's place, Town Hall. And since he loves sushis and we enjoyed it over there, it was a great night, isn't it?
Has he taught you some Bollywood?
No, I haven't got a dancing bone in my body.
I've got him on dancing boots, so he's going to start dancing.
So that's a promise from them. If India makes the semi-finals, on a headlines today set, you will see Harbhajan teaching Andrew Symonds a Bollywood dance. If they don't, hold them to that, okay? Azhar, when you are actually playing a World Cup semi-final, it's a huge occasion. I mean, come to think of it, 1 billion people, 2 matches away. If you are in Mahendra Singh Dhoni's position, what do you tell your boys?
Well, I think I would just tell the boys to just take this game as any other game, you know, because once you start thinking that, I know it's always there at the back of your mind that you're playing a semi-final. Nobody need to tell you that. But at the same time, you know, if you put too much pressure on yourself, so you're going to not play your natural game, as I was saying before as well. So you have to play your natural game. What comes naturally to you, you cannot curb that. The moment you curb that, because you're going to do something different, because that is not your take on your batting or your fielding, because you're doing something unnatural. So I think I would tell the boys, just go out there and play naturally as they can, and then the result, you know, it's at the end of the day, the result will prove how we have played, how we have not played.
Bajji, I'll take you to the Ahmedabad quarterfinal. India played Australia in that quarterfinal. For me, that was the match of the tournament. World champions, won in 99, 2003, 2007, and to take them on. Talk me through that game, because that will give us lessons for the possible semi-final this time round.
Yes, obviously it was a big game. Playing Australia is always tough. But since we were playing in India, we had that confidence to beat Australia. And you know, we were playing in Ahmedabad. We knew the conditions well. We knew the wicket is slow, and luckily we won the toss. And they won the toss, and they batted first. We knew it. Chasing is always easier in Ahmedabad because of the dew comes in and ball comes nicely to the bat. And they got about 260 odd runs. It was a slow wicket, and I think UV bowled really well in the middle overs. We played three spinners, including Yuvraj Singh. He was quite successful in the World Cup. You know, every time he used to come and bowl, take those important wickets, and he took a couple of wickets in that game. Ashwin also played his first game in that game because it was a bit of a spinning track. And in the evening, of course, you know, while we were batting, ball was coming much better onto the bat. But at the same time, we knew that till the time the last ball is not bowled, Australia is there in the game, and they're going to come hard at us with every deliveries. And we lost a couple of wickets after a good start. We lost a couple of wickets. Dhoni got out. Then after that, Raina and Yuvraj were there in the middle, and that partnership was very, very important for us. And I think UV was fantastic. He got about 50 odd runs, 57, and Raina got 30 odd. And it was obviously a big game for us. And beating Australia is always something which gives you a lot of confidence. And of course, we were playing another big game
Pakistan.
after that, Pakistan. So, of course, it was a special win, beating Australia, World Cup defender.
I will ask you that Australia versus Pakistan quarterfinal, who would India fancy? But I'll ask you in a bit. If in India-Australia semi-final in Sydney, how many Indians do you think will be in the ground and how many Australians out of the 45,000?
Yeah, well, that'll be quite interesting, won't it? I mean, I don't know how they work the ticket sales, but I would say that the Indian people that have travelled to Australia would have had to have bought a ticket, otherwise it wouldn't be worth going all that way. So there may not be many tickets left to the game. So I can't really answer the question. We'll just have to wait and see.
It'll be the first time a 30,000 Indian, 15,000 Australian crowd in Australia, right, if it happens?
Well, that's right. I mean, you saw you were there at the MCG when India played there, or would have been, 10 days ago, I suppose.
South Africa.
And the MCG was just a sea of blue, wasn't it, really? There was 80,000 Indians in an Australian cricket ground. It was amazing.
Azhar, does this crowd support matter? For example, if it's a 45,000 crowd capacity, 30,000 Indians, 15,000 Australians, when Michael Clarke walks out to the toss, it'll seem unreal to him. Does it matter?
No, of course it matters, because when you are playing in your own country, when you have so many people from other team supporters are supporting, it does matter. It's always there at the back of the mind. I think the match against Australia, the South Africa, India, which we played, I think the crowd really put so much pressure on the South African side. I think you see more Indians than anybody else on that day. So I think the crowd is, knocked out South Africa as well, But I think it's always there, It's always good to have the support from the people, When you do well, you always want the people to appreciate you. That's why you're playing for, and that's why you're playing to win for your country. So I think there are a lot of people, once we go past the quarterfinals, I think there will be a lot of people coming from all over the world. The Indians will be coming and flocking Australia. So I think it's good for the Australian tourism as well.
Beautiful. Bhaji, as I said, who would the Indians fancy, Pakistan or Australia?
Pakistan.
Why?
Because against Pakistan, we have got good record and we are more comfortable playing against Pakistan. Because playing Australia in Australia would be a bigger challenge than playing Pakistan. That's what I feel. If I was playing there, I would fancy Pakistan.
Okay, now
Pakistan.
what I'll do in the next 5 to 7 minutes, before I open it up for questions for the last 5 to 7, I'll try and do a World 11 based on the performances in the pool so far. So I'll start with Azhar, his two openers, then I'll do the same with Andrew and Harbhajan. Let's try and figure out the World 11 of the World Cup from 3 of our legends going into the quarterfinals. Your openers so far.
I think from every side also.
2 openers you want to represent you now, based on what you've seen before the quarterfinal stage.
David Warner and McCullum.
David Warner and McCullum. Andrew? David Warner and McCullum?
Yeah, I would stick to the same.
So no Shikhar Dhawan?
No Shikhar Dhawan.
Interesting, no Shikhar Dhawan. One down.
Virat Kohli.
Virat Kohli. Come on, disagree.
Kumar Sangakkara.
Wow, yes.
Virat Kohli.
Okay, now a follow-up question on Kumar Sangakkara. Is he the most underrated cricketer? Had he been an Indian, would he be as loved as Azharuddin or Sachin Tendulkar, Harbhajan Singh?
100%. I'm sure he's very much loved in Sri Lanka as well. I think he's a legend. I think he's really played well. I don't think he's an underrated player or something like that. It's just that he's playing for Sri Lanka. If he was playing for any other team, would have been a very much bigger player. But in my eyes, I think he's one of the best players at the moment.
Bhaji, the fact that Sangakkara wants to retire despite getting 400s, is he mad? Is he mad? He's got something wrong.
No, I don't think there's something wrong there. He knows what he's doing, we can't really say. But overall, I can say he's a complete player. He plays the spin really well. He plays the fast bowlers really well. And I've always enjoyed bowling to him. He's one of those challenging batsmen, difficult to get out.
Okay, number 4. Who bats for you at number 4?
AB de Villiers.
There's no doubt about it. AB de Villiers.
AB de Villiers.
No contest.
No contest. AB de Villiers wins hands down. Okay, captain. Harbhajan Singh's captain.
Dhoni.
Dhoni. Okay, Azhar.
I'll go for Dhoni.
Dhoni, why?
Because I think he's been a very experienced player. He's really done well. His record shows that. And I think he's been doing well over a period of time.
Andrew, you've got 15 seconds extra
AB
to
de
think.
Villiers.
AB de Villiers as captain, despite losing 2 matches?
Yes. This is the World 11.
Yes.
Yes.
AB de Villiers as captain.
Yes.
Okay, number 5.
I will put... what's... Yeah, actually Maxwell.
Maxwell. Okay, number
You guys
5.
know more cricket than me.
I'll put Virat.
Virat at number 5. Okay.
Virat is already number 3. Yes.
For your team, not his.
Oh, no.
And number 5.
Steve Smith.
Steve Smith at number 5. Okay, number 6.
Number 6, Duplessis.
Faf at number 6. Andrew.
Dhoni.
Dhoni at number 6.
Maxwell.
Maxwell at number 6. It's a good team. If you sort of take stock of the teams that we are building, 3 solid sides could have taken anybody on in the quarterfinals. Number 7.
Dhoni.
Dhoni at 7.
Faulkner.
Faulkner at 7. That's an interesting one. Is Faulkner the new Michael Bevan for Australia?
No.
No? Why? Because they're building him up as a match finisher.
He is, but Michael Bevan can play long innings. He could bat for 30 overs, you know. I don't see Faulkner as a man that can bat for that long. He may prove me wrong, but I see him more as a man that comes in for 10 overs and it can change the game there or win you a game in 10 overs.
Number 7.
Faulkner.
What you've seen Faulkner evolve as a player. What is interesting about Faulkner? Is it the way he delivers the ball,
See,
batting?
he is one of those guys who can get you runs, quickly. He can score runs in like 10 overs. You need 100 runs. He's the guy to back, and he's the guy to back. While bowling, if you're defending, he's the guy to back. He's got great slower one. He's got a lot of variety. He's a left arm seamer. So definitely number 7.
Your 2 fast bowlers.
My 2 fast bowler, I would put Bolt and Mitchell Stark, of course. Yeah.
Sir, please.
It's
Bolt and Mitchell Stark.
Yes.
Andrew?
10 and 11 you want here?
No, your 2 fast bowlers. Then we'll go to 10 and
I'll
11.
have Stark and Morkel.
Stark and Morkel.
Stein and Shami.
Stein and Shami. Wow. You don't want Mitchell Stark despite his brilliance in Australia.
Well, I think, Shami is also a wicket-taking bowler. I think we should give that to him. He's taken a lot of wickets.
Finish off. 10, 11 spinners. And maybe 1 more fast bowler.
Ashwin, so he's doing well. And I will take, maybe it's very hard, tough choice, Tim Southee or Corey Anderson.
Tim Southee, Corey Anderson, Ravi Ashwin. Andrew, spinner.
Ashwin. And my spare bowler will be Lasith Malinga.
Lasith Malinga, Ashwin. I'm surprised nobody's picked Danny Vittori. Brilliant World Cup so far. Bajji.
Okay, I'll put Daniel Vittori. Daniel Vittori and Ashwin.
Both. 2 spinners.
2 spinners. If you're playing in Melbourne, I'll rather play 2 spinners.
Beautiful. On that note, we've got our World 11 audience. Questions? Hands up, please. First students, then I'll come in front. I can see loads of hands there. Please, anybody. Microphone. Be direct. The gentleman here, the kid there. Be direct. Who is it for? What's the question?
My question is to Mr. Symonds. When you were facing Ishant Sharma, and you quite a few times you got out on his ball, and you were always caught behind, how did you feel at that time?
I think he felt great.
He was one of those Indian bowlers I just wanted to bash. I wanted to smash him. He was quite cheeky, wasn't he? We used to clash quite a bit.
Sledge.
Sledging. He was sledging.
Ask him what did he say? Ask him. I can't ask him that.
You only get one question, son. Sit down.
Okay, the next one. Who do we have? Yes, the guy there. Come on. Get a microphone and ask. I don't see very many female hands. If anyone wants to ask a question. Yes, please.
My question is to Mr. Symonds. I would like to ask him who he thinks is the most efficient player in the whole tournament.
Most efficient player?
Yes.
Andrew.
Most efficient player in the tournament would be A.B. de Villiers.
A.B. de Villiers. Wow. Okay, a couple more student questions before I come. I'll come to you. The chap there, behind. There. Yes. He's delighted to have asked the question. Fantastic. Come on.
Finally, okay, anyone can answer this.
Okay.
But, how would a bowler who's batting react to another bowler? No, actually, when a bowler bats, he fails in front of another bowler. When he knows what type of a ball he's going to throw.
Okay.
So
what's the question? Bowler fails to read a bowler that he knows. Maji?
Yeah.
You are facing an off spinner. Let's put it this way. You are facing an off spinner, you get out to an off spinner, how do you feel?
He's facing Ashwin.
You know how he's going to react.
Correct.
But in many matches, those bowlers who are batting, they fail. Why?
Understood. So Harbhajan gets out to Ashwin. How will you feel?
I won't get out to him.
Beautiful. So he says he
He'll
won't
probably
get out.
get out. He'll probably a lot of other wickets, but
Not yours.
never got me out. Every time I face him, I hit him for 6.
Beautiful. Okay.
And wait.
that's
Can
it.
Can I get an autograph, please?
You will. You will. Trust me. 2 more questions, then I'll come to this side. I've got 5 more minutes. Come there. Yes.
According to you, is the T20 format harmful for the...
What format?
The T20 format, is it harmful or is it effective?
T20
No, I
format.
think it's very good for youngsters like you. You can also play T20 yourself because most of the players who are now playing in the Indian team and also in so many other international teams have benefited from IPL T20. So I think it's very good. It's a very good format. It brings good players into the foray very quickly. Like if they were supposed to play another 2 years down the line, if you perform well in these T20s, you will really play for the country.
Beautiful. Can we have two questions from that side? Then I'll take 2 from the front and finish off. Yes, gentleman there, please. Go ahead.
So my question is for Symonds, sir.
Yeah.
If Australia faces India in semi-final, name one Indian player who will be your biggest threat.
I think Ashwin in the middle overs will have to play him well to post a big total to beat India.
Thank you, sir.
Good answer. One more question from that side. You've asked your question. Can I have someone else? Yes, the gentleman next to you. This side? Yes. I'll come to you.
In 1983, Kapil Dev used to he made 170 and 250 was a winning score. And nowadays, people are making individual double centuries. So, who do you think will make the first individual triple century? And do you think any team will push 500?
Okay, I'll ask all of them. Any team can push 500 triple century.
I think AB de Villiers and Rohit Sharma.
AB de Villiers and Rohit Sharma. Can
Because
he get
he's
500?
already got 2 double hundred, so he has the potential to score another
Can
one.
any team get 500?
I doubt
Tough.
in this tournament, no.
This
I don't
tournament,
think
no.
so.
Andrew,
I have
anyone
my
can
doubts.
get a triple hundred?
Maybe it's got to be an opener. It'll have to be an opener because you need all that time. Maybe David Warner, Rohit Sharma, someone like that. Or Rohit's got to 250. So,
Yeah.
and then probably when you score that many runs, it comes down to fatigue. If you can keep going, because you do get
Good point.
tired.
Very good point. Bhaji?
I agree with him. You got to be an opener to score 300. Either it could be Gale, Rohit Sharma, and of course Warner.
Warner. Okay, 3 final questions. The gentleman here, and I'll take 1 from there and finish off. The last 2, actually 2 more. 1 will be from Madan Lal, 1 will be from Chetan Chauhan. Sorry, there's Nikhil Chopra. So 3 from here and we'll close. Yes, sir.
Sir, my question is, can Pakistan repeat 1992 after the inspirational performance against South Africa? Can Pakistan repeat 1992 World Cup?
I don't know. I'm sitting here, boss. I'm also one of like you. They can also repeat. Anything can happen here in cricket. I don't know what
Okay.
is going to happen.
Because as Imran...
He's not a betting man. 1 more question from there. The gentleman there in front, and then 3 of my experts, 3 legends. Madan Lal, World Cup winner. Chetan Chauhan, one of the best opening batsmen for India. Nikhil Chopra, part of the 99 team. They'll finish off. Yes,
My
sir.
question is to Mr. Singh that what is your mindset before the game?
My mindset, I try and keep myself very calm, composed, and I leave the rest, for the outside world. That whatever I do,
Trust me,
and
that's a big lie.
I go there with a lot of focus, and every time I walk in, I just want to do well, and that's it. I don't keep things in. No, I do keep things cool.
Are you nervous? He says, are you nervous?
Huh?
Are you nervous before a game?
Sometimes, yes, I do. I do get nervous. When I was bowling to Andrew Simon, I was nervous.
And when Andrew Symonds faces to Harbhajan Singh, he's nervous.
Mate, everyone gets nervous before you do anything if you don't get nervous, it doesn't mean anything to you.
Good point. Okay. Chetan Chauhan, question for any of them. Andrew. Wait, microphone.
Yes,
Andrew.
sir.
Okay. Andrew, you've seen the World Cup so far, all the matches. Who will win the World Cup? You don't have to be polite, right?
No, I'm not. Obviously hope Australia do, but there's 4 teams, maybe 5 that can win it. And in those, I mean Australia, New Zealand, India, and South Africa. They're the sides. And then you throw Pakistan in there. You just never know with them.
You're still giving South Africa a chance?
Yeah, but South Africa have got this thing in their head, haven't they? It's
They're
there
called
in their head.
jokers.
They lost in '99, and it's still in their heads. So, watching them play in a final, you may well see them disintegrate, but they may not. If they click, they've got a complete team. But the team I think that can win it, that we haven't talked about a great deal, is New Zealand. They're playing some very good cricket.
Excellent. Madan Lal.
South Africa is still sweating their palms to win the World Cup, or are they missing the fifth bowler?
You want Azhar? South Africans missing the fifth bowler.
No, I think definitely yes, because South African side, I think as they've always come very close to doing well in the World Cup, but I think somehow they have lost it. But I think for South Africa to really do well, I think Hashim Amla has to really play very big innings, because he's the main person. Because whenever he scored big 100, maybe 120, 130, South Africa has always won the game. So I think they really need to, because they're opening, they have a very good bowling side, but I think they are missing one bowler, But if the batting does well, they can score 350, 370, then the bowlers can really, that fifth bowler can only, you can hide that fifth bowler. Otherwise, I'll find it very difficult to hide that fifth bowler.
That's the question Madipa had. Nikhil Chopra to Harbhajan Singh.
Two questions, part A and part B. A, should the ICC rethink of the rule for the fifth fielder in the 30-yard circle? And part B of the question, which I think the entire room would want to know, Boria, when do we see Harbhajan Singh back in the Blues playing for India again?
Beautiful. Bhaji.
The first thing, first question, the answer is obviously I think they need to review this after the World Cup, because this rule have given a lot of authority to the batsmen, and there's hardly anything going for the bowlers. I think this rule should change back to the normal. 5 fielders should be out at all the time, and I don't mind having 2 balls, from one side and the other side. You can use 2 balls, but one guys need to go back in the same, old rule where you have 5 fielders outside the ring. And of course, I would love to be part of the Indian side very soon. And I don't know whether in blue or white, but whatever it is, I'll be very happy to be. And I hopefully very soon.
Fantastic. On that note, I think it's been quite an extraordinary session with 3 legends talking the World Cup, quarter-final onwards. I think I've enjoyed it. You've enjoyed it. If you have, stand up and give all my legends, Mohammad Azharuddin, Andrew Symonds, and Harbhajan Singh, a standing ovation. Please.